When Microsoft was formed, since we're in the Microsoft office, let's start with that. We'll ask you and then we'll ask Girish, because if Girish also doesn't know that, then it's okay if you don't know that, right? Huh? I'm sorry?
You're talking about Bangalore?
No, I'm talking about worldwide. Huh? 1975, somebody said. Okay, what date 1975? You know, I remember that because it's my birthday, April 4th. So, when did Apple start? I'm sorry? It's actually April 1st of 1974 or 76. I'm not 100% sure, but give or take a year. But you know, this was an era where hobbyists turned entrepreneurs. Both the founders of Microsoft, the founders of Apple were really hobbyists. They were not business. They were breaking the mold in some way. And I think in the next 10 years, by the time you got to 1985, people started writing about entrepreneurship, and you started having books come out which said 10 rules of entrepreneurship, 10 rules of intrapreneurship, right? So it took a time for this concept to finally find its way into what people were writing. And for the last 25, 30 years, those are the rules by and large we've operated with. But now, in the last few years, we are seeing a change, a fundamental change in thinking how entrepreneurs should build new companies. And that change that is taking place is driven by a number of factors. One of the most significant factor is the rise in the US of this Y Combinator, Techstars, where, you know, in some ways mass entrepreneurship is happening. Now, by itself, you know, that is important, but what is even more important is that a bunch of folks said, you know what if we study the failures in these hundreds of companies that get born in every session, you know, twice a year, you know, 100 companies in first half of the year, another 100 companies in the second half of the year, and, you know, many of them don't survive. What if we understand what's working there? Why are the ones that are surviving? Why are the ones which are not surviving? Why don't we use this as a basis for us to develop the science of entrepreneurship? And those people are people like Steve Blank, Eric Rice. We haven't been successful in getting them to India, but I'm hoping that they'll be here in November for an event that is taking place called the Product Conclave. They have started now putting this body of knowledge up on the web. And as you would imagine, this is open source material, right? It's available for everybody, everybody's contributing, and there are therefore patterns that are beginning to emerge that are very, very significant. And I think I want to share those patterns with you very briefly, but why do I want to do that? Because to my mind, this is an example, this is an opportunity, not an example of something that happened here in Bangalore, not very long ago, which is responsible for IT services industry to become what it is today. There was, just like sometimes infections go from animals to humans, you know, we call this species transfer, you know, the infection goes from one species to another. That kind of an innovation happened here in Bangalore, and I want to tell you a little bit about that, and then I'll come back to Steve Blank and these. You know, at that, if you go back into late 80s, early 90s, there was on Alsur Road Motorola's office. Does anybody here who's worked for Motorola? Right? You guys have. Huh?
I've seen that.
You've seen that office, right? And has anybody here gone for a Bangalore walk? Nobody's gone for Bangalore walk? You have, right? So Bangalore walk, these guys do it on Saturday and Sunday. Delightful experience. If there was ever a Bangalore walk which covered the tech industry, I think that Alsur building should be part of that Bangalore walk. It should be like the Trinity Church where the Bangalore walk starts. Why is that significant? Because back in the US, there was this guy, Watts Humphrey.